Hello Internet and welcome to a Cut the Craggle building live stream. It's been a while. I'm not entirely sure when the last live stream was. I've slept since then, so yeah. When was it? I don't know. Okay. It's fun not knowing, kinda. Except when you're trying to find your underwear and you don't know where your underwear is. Yeah, that took a weird turn. Anyway, happy International Women's Day. And today we are celebrating that by building one of Star Wars' most badass females, Bo-Katan. So I am building a Lego art mosaic of Bo-Katan based on her appearance in the Mandalorian Season 2. Of course, Lego haven't actually made a Bo-Katan mosaic set, so I'm following custom instructions that I'm going to be looking at digitally, so I will be going back and forth. But I got them from Instagram and I forgot how to pronounce the name, so let me just go back to my notes. Yes, I have notes. So, Lego underscore... What is going on? Someone is messaging me. I wanted to start the stream and someone's messaging me. You're just a bit loud, okay. Oh! I still love that clip. Thank you, Jacob Neely, for the $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Is the stream chat working? That's a very good question. It will be as soon as I turn it on. Wait. Let me turn it on now. Wait a sec. Where is the thing for that? I don't know. It's a Cut the Craggle live stream. There's always going to be some technical issues. That is the wrong thing. I just... It was here a minute ago. Yeah, okay. Connecting? It says it's connected. Hopefully that's working now. Anyway, yeah, so I got these instructions on Instagram. If you're not already, you can find the link in the description to follow them on Instagram. It is Lego underscore KCZ, or Z in America, D. So that's Kilo, Charlie, Zulu, Delta. But yeah, they make amazing Lego Mosaic mock builds using the existing sets, and you can see them on Instagram and then pick up the instructions from their Etsy store. Links to both their Instagram profile and their Etsy store are in the description. I did that, okay. I got that sorted before we started streaming, so yeah. So that works at least. But yeah, I'm going to be building these. We have sorted out into little pots, though we ran out of pots. So yeah. We'll see how that goes. Some of them are just in bags to the side of me. But I'm pretty excited. There is a new chatbot game, which now is showing me that it is live. Jacob Neely is trying to fill the board with his name. Okay. You do that, Jacob. If you want to keep on sending me money to fill the board with your name, then I'm not going to stop you. But I am going to... I wonder how long before that that clip gets old. Right. Another one of my favourite clips. I Step Up 35 has been a channel member for 25 months. Wow, that's amazing. Thank you so much. That's... wow. Thank you, thank you. Oh. Am I going to have to mute this? So look, I mean, if you want to keep on sending money and keep on playing that clip, that's absolutely fine. I'm gonna crack on with this. I have never built... Oh, I got hair already. This is the problem with being a long-haired guy with a beard. I've never actually built any of the art sets, so this is a first for me, and I'm surprised I've not had any abuse yet from Jacob Neely because the set I'm using two of them, is the Lego Batman Jim Lee one. Which I did say, out of all the art kits, this is the one that I would probably want to get myself. But the thing that made me get it was seeing that there was instructions to make something else. So, yeah, there's that. Clicking Cliff, hello! Thank you for joining us. I probably should do the rounds and say hello to everyone who is here. I kind of got a little bit sidetracked there with super chat and music being too loud, and yeah, it happens. But Clicking Cliff, welcome, welcome. Of course, Jacob Neely, we've already said hi to you as well. Spacetime Brick Studio says this Mando cover sounds like Stargate. Okay, interesting. Don't know if I hear that myself, but yeah. Mrs. Craggle, of course, is here as well. Ice Dipple 35, yes, 25 months. And also, I did see earlier on, Sam Jones was in the chat as well. So yeah, there is some new features on the game. I didn't have time to completely fill it out because I don't know if you can hear from my voice, but I've been unwell recently. I think it's a cold, though everyone is saying, have you got COVID again? I was like, no, because that would be 4 times, and I refuse. I refuse to have COVID 4 times. Can you imagine the amount of crap Joe Chambers would give me? Like, he already created this board of, like, how many days since Craggle last had COVID. I'm not having COVID again. Even if I have got it, I haven't got it. Yeah. Have I messed this up already? Quite possibly. Wait. No, I haven't. Never. That's correct. Okay. That is correct. Yeah. I'm starting to doubt myself. Oh well. It always takes me about an hour into these live streams till I get into the swing of things, till I start feeling more confident and less like an imposter. You know, when things start to work properly. I should warn you that there is the possibility of spoilers for Mandalorian Season 3. I'm still on the fence of how I should come down on that, so maybe you could help me in the chat here. Should I say yes, we can discuss today's episode, or should I say we should hold off on that? I definitely think episode 1 of Season 3 should be okay to talk about now. It's been a week, so... Well, what do you reckon? Should we allow discussion? Didn't know we would have... When did I call you heavy? I did not call you heavy. I do not believe this. Oh, well, it's woken up now. The chat has just woken up on screen. Jacob reckons that I called him heavy. I don't even know what you're referencing there. I don't know. Yeah. It's just trying to confuse my poor brain. Leave me alone. I'm not very well. You should be nice to me. Just for that, Jacob, you can send me another super chat. Accusing me of body shaming. On a stream when I'm celebrating International Women's Day, there will be no body shaming on here. This is a day to be... I don't know. I can't think of words. I got brain fog, I swear. That is the one thing that makes me think, okay, it might be COVID. Because I've got a bit of brain fog. I met up with a friend last week, you see. We went for a pub lunch. Which I know is probably a weird concept to anyone outside the UK. But it was lovely. It was delightful, in fact. But the very next day I started feeling a bit ill. He's also very ill. He's worse than me, but that... In all fairness, he is back from Australia. He was in Australia for 8 months. He left when our summer was just about to sort of finish. Just in time for Australia's spring, which is pretty much better than our summer anyway. Had their summer, they were just starting to go into autumn. He came over into our second winter, so... Mrs. Craggle understands. Oh, his rank. Oh, of course, yes, heavy infantry. I understand. Well, that's not me. That's this the Mandalorian. That's the Kryze. The Kryze is calling you heavy. Sorry about that. Now I understand. Wow. I should have picked up on that sooner. Oh, dear. So, Icebo35 says, I'm okay with spoilers for this week's episode. I just watched it right before the stream. Oh, okay. So that's one vote to talk about spoilers. Oh man, why's my fingers not working? Get in there. I don't care what you smell. Oh, someone started the pod race and they got called off. How rude. Martin MMC 2.0. Hello, welcome. Welcome to our stream. Why did I pick up so many of these? I don't know. I really hope I don't make mistakes on this. Can you imagine? All these one-by-ones. I also did wonder what I was thinking by scheduling a stream in which all I'm doing is putting one-by-one on base plate. Considering how much I hated doing the one-by-ones on the Hedgehog set. Do you remember that? People remember that stream? Me and Sam Jones almost losing the will to live. Yeah, it was it was an experience. I think the frustration with that was it wasn't so much putting one by one, plates, round, one by one studs we call these, down. It was trying to stack square one by one tiles too, and then get them all straight up to build something because Lego couldn't be bothered giving us the new brick that is 2 plates high. So yeah, to build this then you do need 2 copies of the Lego Batman Jim Lee collection set, which I did. I can't even remember when I picked it up. I knew I got a good deal. I think I got like double VIP and a gift with promo or something. That was what sold me, because the Lego art sets, they are expensive, and I'm not saying they're not worth it, but they are expensive. Expensive doesn't always mean overpriced, but there's always been something that I feel like I would get more value from that would cost less, or cost the same or less. So that's why I've not bought any in the past. And to be honest with you, I've not been fussed on a lot of them. The Jim Lee one was one of the ones that I was like, do you know what? I actually really like that. I love Jim Lee's artwork, and they've done a good job of like translating that into the Lego Mosaic style. So yeah, I was intending on picking them up eventually, and then when I saw the Bo-Katan one, I was like, yeah, let's get that. It was also quite tight because they also have got a Cad Bane version of this, and also Ahsoka, I think, used the same set. She's done a bunch of them. Lego KCZD. So yeah, please do check her out. Not right now. Stay here with me. Keep me company. I'm lonely. I'm surprised this stream is public. Oh dear. Also, you and Sam dissing that Sonic set, rightfully so, was hilarious. Yeah. Sam Jones says, I'm still upset that you have other friends than me. Hey, you have other Welsh friends than me. Mrs. Craggle does say, the Sonic set does look pretty on display. It does. It's not as good as the original fan design that we voted for. Heck, it's based on a different video game than the one we voted for. But it is a cool set. As a Sonic fan, I do like it. I do need to do a video on a bunch of not quite Lego custom figures that Mrs. Craggle bought for me. I was waiting because I was going to build a brick-built display for them all, similar to like I did for Stranger Things and also for my Mando figures a couple of years back. And I was like, I'm not doing the Lego way of doing one-by-one plates stacked on each other. I'm going to use the bricks. And then I looked at the cost of it once I built it, this time in Studio, so I can then take the parts list into Bricklink. And yeah, it was something ridiculous, like 250 quid for like a brick-built stand. So I was like, okay, that's not happening. So I need to find something else to do there. Black Street Supreme Leader Kyle Sam says, hi Katee Sackhoff, how are you? I'm good, thank you. How are you doing today? Good to see you here, thank you for joining us. And Sam, Jacob says, Sam, your sacrifice saved me money. Oh, okay, Spaceman says, right now it sounds like Stargate. Okay, I've muted it on my side so it doesn't get picked up by the mic. I heard it at the start, but I put it down quiet because apparently the music was a bit loud. so I have to take your word for it. Like, I can hear that. I can guess that they would sound a little bit similar. I did actually. It's not the one that I'm using for the stream, but I found a cover whilst I was looking for stuff to use in this stream. An awesome cover by a person called something Gingertail. I think if you search Mandalorian Gingertail cover, it'll come up. This woman like plays, I don't know, but it's a bunch of instruments that some of them I've never even seen before, and I was like, is that a real instrument? But does like absolutely phenomenal cover, and even like does the vocal parts of one of it as well. Very, 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 very cool. And again, another shout out for International Women's Day. So. Oh, okay, sounds like been on Chulak. Jafar Kryze. Yeah, wrong franchise. We're not here to talk about Stargate just right now. We're here to talk about Star Wars. Because today apparently was also another Bad Batch episode, and I have heard that today was a great episode that didn't feature the Bad Batch, or at least only featured them very briefly, I'm not sure. I couldn't get into the Bad Batch, I gotta be honest. Mrs. Crackle enjoyed it, but I really struggled with that series. But I have been enjoying The Mandalorian. I'm still frustrated that it's done that, classic, I want to say American TV series trope, but it happens enough in the UK as well, where a character goes through, major character development over the course of a season, and then next season it hits a reset button. And I'm frustrated that no one's even addressed that Din Djarin's, gone back on the whole journey that he went through season 2. I was like, oh, I took off my helmet. I'm really sorry. I need to, I need to redeem myself from my transgressions. When, to me, season 2 was all about Din Djarin realizing there's more than one way. Like, he meets Cobb Vanth, who he originally is like, take that armor off or I'll kill you, Jarina. And yes, he does take it off at the end, but he realizes that, Cobb Vanth's not a bad guy and that he probably was a worthy custodian of Boba Fett's armor for the time being that he had it. He meets Boba Fett himself, who is basically like, it's kind of a Mandalorian, but not in the traditional sense. His father was a foundling, very similar backstory to Din Djarin's own backstory. He meets Ahsoka, who's a Jedi, but she doesn't follow a strict Jedi order. She kind of does her own thing, but she's still a light Force user and still basically holds the core values of the Jedi. Meets Bo-Katan, who is basically Mandalorian royalty, who comes from a different clan altogether and follows a different, I don't want to say creed, but... Oh! Sam Jones! Hello, hello! Sam Jones has been a channel member for 24 months. Wow. But yeah, the whole thing, basically, like, with Bo-Katan, like, she said, like, you're just one clan or one sect of Mandalorians, she's Mandalorian royalty and she takes her helmet off, so, and that culminated in him removing his helmet then to let Grogu, touch his face when he said goodbye. Not to mention the fact that I still, as much as I've enjoyed Grogu in this season, it still feels like Disney mandated that he return, and he returned not even in his own show, returned in the Book of Boba Fett. So, because I remember that when season 2 finished, they were like, Grogu's story has come to an end, but the Mandalorian's journey continues. I remember Favreau, I think, or Dave Filoni said something like that, not exact quote, but something like that, and then all of a sudden, no, Grogu's back with Mando, back to having the cradle, back to the status quo. But there you go. It is. Yeah, exactly a great example there. As much as I love Cobra Kai, Spaceman says, just like Cobra Kai, they reset every season. Yeah, the last couple of seasons they've got better at that, but they definitely dragged out the whole Daniel-Johnny conflict a couple of seasons longer than they should do. Like, they became friends a couple of times and then just like, oh no, I can't work with you. It's like, really? I'm pretty sure we've just established that we can, and we have a lot more in common than we admit. But I'm still enjoying this. 2 episodes in, and I'm still really enjoying the season so far. You you kind of have to take it on the chin that with stuff like that. I just wish it would get addressed, to be honest with you. Ooh, I'm using that one. I am. First number 8. Just wish, like, even like, I think the perfect opportunity was Bo-Katan to sort of like call him out on it, and like, you know, I thought you were past, you know, that. She's mentioned like, you know, childish stories, but they seem to be more related to the living waters of Mandalore, as opposed to, you know, why are you so like up in arms about taking your helmet off? You know, you took it off of your own free will. You know, do you regret basically your son seeing your face? And that's a point. Like, the armor even said before, like, there are kind of 2. So Grogu and Mando. So can he take his helmet off in front of Mando? I know at the end of season 2 he took it off in front of everyone. But is he allowed to show Grogu his face? Considering they're the same clan? Like, how does that work? I don't know. We'll see. Oh, I can see some battles are taking place. People are starting to challenge each other for the Darksaber. Lazar Turtle, hello! Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining the stream. Crackle, did you hear? Apparently on an interview with Jon Favreau, probably misspelled that name. Yeah, he did, but don't worry about it. Said that it was 2 years that Luke was training Grogu. Has it been 2 years since season 2? Has it been season 2? Yeah, there's been a couple of things I feel like they misrepresented themselves with a recent interview, Favreau and Filoni, because Favreau, the way he said it was like Grogu was training with Luke for 2 years, which didn't feel like it, did it, when we watched that episode of Book of Boba Fett, which was a good episode, although again it annoyed me that they kind of had Luke fall down on how they portray him in the sequel trilogy, which is, you know, he hasn't learned anything from the Jedi Order's mistakes, and it's just like, yeah, you kind of have attachments, which, you know, for us who grew up with the, what have I done here? Grew up with the expanded universe, Luke actually, when he established his Jedi Order, realised that attachments are important, and that, you know, it's our ties to those we care about to help us, you know, give us something to fight for. It's just, you have to love without jealousy, basically. So, yeah, having him go to Grogu, oh, you can't train with me until you say that you don't love Mando anymore, was kind of dumb. But yeah, that episode did not feel like it spanned 2 years. I think what he was trying to say is that it's been 2 years overall since the end of season 2, so that includes like the Book of Boba Fett timescales, and, you know, whatever's been happening since with Din Djarin and Grogu. But yeah, there was also the thing where Filoni tried saying that Luke wasn't a Jedi, which really pissed me off. Like come on, Filoni, man, you were the chosen one. Don't start freaking throwing that shit, you know, that shade around, saying that Luke wasn't a Jedi. Yoda literally says to him, "When gone am I, the last of the Jedi shall you be." It's called Return of the Jedi. You know, come on. Even in Mandalorian season 2, Din Djarin says, "Are you a Jedi?" And Luke says, "I am." Don't start going, "Oh, he's not a Jedi Order." And I've seen people going, "Oh yeah, because there was no council to approve him." It's like, there was no council in the original trilogy, but we didn't originally go, "Oh, Luke's not a Jedi," did we? That was kind of the whole point. The Jedi Order got too hung up on the strict dogma. It was their downfall. But yeah. We should be talking about Jedi because we should be talking about Mando stuff. I think only Ice Dead People 35 said that we're okay to talk about today's episode. Has everyone else seen today's episode? Episode 2, Season 3? Oh, some people run the, Mrs. Craggle and Sam Jones won the pod race. Looks like Jacob Lee is trying to give Sam Jones some points. I don't know if he ever got that working. There's nothing on there that says that it shouldn't work, but, I remember before it wasn't working when I was trying to give someone some points. So yeah, let me know if you have seen today's episode, if you want to talk about that. because I thought today was a belter of an episode. And kind of appropriate to I won't say until we don't. Guava King, hey Crackle, hope you are well. Hello. I'm doing good. How are you doing? Well, I say I'm doing good. I did mention that I am a bit under the weather, which is probably why I sound horrible. But apart from that, I'm doing good. I keep thinking I'm losing. I wish there was something I could put on the instructions. So like, I should just move a mouse key so I know where I am. So I keep going. Wait, am I there? Or? No, I'm by there. So. Sam Jones says you can talk about the episode. Have you seen it, Sam? You've been a busy boy recently. That sounds really weird, but yeah. Sam Jones has been all over the place. Jamie says I got rid of Disney Plus after She-Hulk, blah blah blah, aka The Real Abomination and Book of Boba Fett. Ah, yeah, but Book of Boba Fett was a bit of a disappointment. I still enjoyed it overall, but yeah, wait a second, I put that in the wrong place. But yeah, it was just very muddled, wasn't it? It didn't feel like it. I felt like it needed a few extra drafts. And you're having 2 episodes where you had one whole episode where Boba wasn't in it. That I could kind of go, okay, you know, fair enough. 1 episode, it does happen in shows, but to then have it so there was like, I think the very next episode or something, Boba's in it for like all of 30 seconds and has 1 line. But I just wasn't really happy with how Boba Fett was portrayed. There wasn't any sort of real character arc in terms of explaining why he is the way he is. Like, I guess there's the whole, he spent time with the Tusken Raiders, he finally had a people, but they don't think they did enough to show how he was, his mentality before that experience to show the change in him, if that makes sense. Like, we needed to establish and see more of him, like, you know, resisting that, not just, oh, I killed a monster, now I'm one of you straight away. And he did talk too much. I'm with Tamara Morrison. He said that he was fighting Favreau on that because he thought the character was talking too much. I do think he was a bit too talky. He was also really nerfed. Like when Boba Fett turned up in, and I do say Boba Fett because that's how we used to say it in the UK before, like it was even his name was said aloud. And it distinguishes him from Bo-Katan to Boba Fett. But yeah, Boba Fett, it just he was fantastic in Mandalorian season 2. It was exactly how I always wanted to see him portrayed in live action. It was like ripped straight out of the comic books, the Dark Horse comics that I used to love reading. But then in his own show, they just nerfed him, like constantly having to be dragged back to a Bacta tank, you know. Letting people get the drop on him and stuff. It just, yeah, it wasn't great, was it? I put that in the wrong place as well. Why am I putting the extra ones down? And Yu's here, howdy howdy! And Shingami Groot says, hey man, just wondering what the progress is on the Ghostbusters second batch being printed. Yeah, so, we're not yet at the estimated shipment date on those, but they are in progress, so I've had some shots, some of the pieces have been custom printed already. So yeah, we're looking to be on target for the estimated shipping date, but to anyone who's ordered, I will be sending out any sort of progress updates if there's any sort of delays on those. If you have ordered, thank you very much for your order. Jacob says, Book of Boba Fett felt like the sequels on a mini-series, no direction. Yeah, a little bit. I don't know, I feel like they were better than the sequels, but yeah. But today's episode, funny enough, without me even knowing, was quite Bo-Katan heavy, wasn't it? I'll say it now because about 4 people have said it's okay to talk about. I was like, oh, that's cool. I scheduled a stream to build a Bo-Katan Mosaic, and they do a very Bo-Katan centric episode. It was a cracking episode. I realised how slow I am at doing this. I'm really trying not to make mistakes and also trying to talk as well. Sam Jones, where are you when I need you? You could be talking for me. You could be hosting the live stream whilst I just build. I'm going to try and see about a way of trying to speed up a little bit. So I'm still on the first one of these. Yeah, the Book of Boba Fett was way better than the sequels. Also, man, I'm happy to get them, especially goes to go with my 5 stars Vigo painting. Okay, cool. Anu says, looking forward to my Wormhole Extreme minifigures to come in later. Shall wait patiently. Don't worry, I know what pre-order means. Yeah. Thank you, Andy. Yeah. If you're not already, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that there's been some dramas with some people not seeming to know what a pre-order means, and firing a chargeback against me, even though their order's been shipped and they have full tracking information because it took longer than expected, and then tell me I should deliver the packages on time because they received the order but they're still not dropping the chargeback. Yeah, as if I went round and hand posted it. I shipped it in time, and I can't help that there was a global incident that delayed packages. They had all the tracking information, so they knew their package was shipped, but they kept on accusing me of being a scam, and now what they've done is they've scammed me. So yeah, that was fun. That's a bit extreme, Jacob. The sequels is why I have depression and one of the many reasons why I got fat. What? I don't even know how to follow that up, but that seems a bit extreme. I think Black Series Supreme like Idakawa Sam is trying to do trying to channel someone, but you've got to put it all in one message. Oh, so they're trying to go to the single combat for the Darksaber. Yeah, with custom Lego, it takes time to get a quality product. It's ridiculous the stuff on your story. Yeah, unfortunately, that's how some people are like. It just, I couldn't believe it when the person who they were bought for started DMing me to say, "Oh, thank you for finally delivering them." I'm like, what do you mean, like, I finally delivered them? Like, they've been in the postal service in your country, like, since February. I don't have any control over that. I shipped it out in time. And even then, it was only an estimated. But yeah. The person also tried denying it was them that raised the chargeback, and I was like, what did you order? And he told me, I was like, there's literally only one person who's made that exact order, and it was delivered on the day that you said thank you for finally delivering the order. So, and you also mentioned that your mum paid for them, and the person who raised the chargeback said that they had ordered them from their son, so yeah. And then they said they would cancel the chargeback, and I was like, okay, they didn't. And then when I asked again, they were like, well, make sure you deliver them on time next in future, otherwise this will happen again. Like, I thought it won't happen again, not from you anyway, because you're getting banned. We've got to be careful because across the order, email, and DM on Instagram, they've used 3 different names, 3 entirely different names. So, yeah. I'm gonna keep an eye on that, on the postal address and stuff, and if I see it, I mean, I guess they could get them delivered to a different postal address. That's the thing. There's no way of entirely stopping it. People will find ways around it. But here. Anyway, on a lighter note, I enjoyed today's episode. Does anyone else? Does anyone else talk about it? I don't know. There's lots of pod racing stuff going on. Cut the Crackle calls it heavy. I didn't call it heavy. Don't worry, I lost the weight when I saw the Batman. Okay. Someone says, I thought you personally hand-delivered all your minifigs. Yeah, even the ones across the... Jeez, that's so cheeky. Cut the Crackle is a mailman, confirmed. And Andy, yep, you've got it. Straight up scammers, period. They absolutely are. They absolutely are. I don't know how you can accuse someone of being a scammer when they've literally sent you tracking information and you can see it's being held by customs. Now, I should say they were quite rude as well in their email correspondence to me as well. So that was the mothers apparently. So yeah, okay, this is a bit confusing because they got a watermark over the instructions, which is understandable, but you can still see what it is. It just threw me for a second then. Andy says, I hadn't even started on the Mandalorian. Wow. Too busy rewatching Stargate, huh? I will say, working on those figs, I did kind of feel like, oh, I can't really want to rewatch it. Because I have all 8 seasons, and yes, I said 8. 8 seasons, that's all there was of Stargate SG-1 on DVD, but they're back at the parental's house. And I remember we either started or we did... Oh, I got different colour. So I have got one more tray. With, oh, look at that. It's kind of shiny and sparkly. Ooh, pretty. Pretty. We either started or we actually did rewatch all of them. Back when we first moved into my parents to save up for a deposit on a house. So... I didn't see a Bad Batch episode now. I struggled to get into the Bad Batch, I really did. We watched all of season 1, I think. I don't remember much of it. I remember like my favourite episode was like the last 2 episodes when they were on Camino, but I haven't bothered watching season 2. I know Mrs. Crackle wants to catch up with it. She quite likes it. And Sam Jones will have a go at me as well because I still haven't gone back to Blandor. I was hoping for something that was going to be akin to Rogue One, but I reckon it looks more like The Last Jedi. Like people who go, oh, it's amazing. They go because it's not like Star Wars. I'm like, well, if I'm watching a Star Wars show, I want it to be a Star Wars show. And I think I gave it 3 or 4 episodes, and I just was so bored. And it just didn't even feel like Star Wars at all. Like I get there's different sides to Star Wars. There always has been, especially with the EU. But just didn't even feel like Star Wars. It felt like some generic sci-fi channel drama. I've heard people say it gets better, but yeah. Omega. Yeah, an exact clone of Boba Fett or Jango Fett. But looks nothing like Boba Fett, looks nothing like Django, has different colour hair, and is a different gender. But, yeah. We should probably celebrate her because it is International Women's Day, but I'd rather take Bo-Katan. Bo-Katan's badass. The last 2 episodes of Season 2 have come out are amazing content. Okay. I mean, it did end on a good one, and they introduced as well, the last shot of Bad Batch introduced something from Legends. I've forgotten the name of the place, but... It was basically a location from the Heir to the Empire story, which had me excited. I do get a little bit excited when they start bringing back some of the old expanded universe. Like, just stop drip feeding it and just bring it all back. Just get rid of the sequels and just bring back the original expanded universe. It was better. Everyone in the US loves Andor. Yeah, do you know what? I hear a lot of people online, like, the only two people I actually know who like it are Joe Chambers and Sam Jones. But yeah, everyone else I know don't like it. Mam Tantis, that's it, indeed. Mam Tantis. And Annie says, I had no idea you could even make Bo-Katan with 2 of these Batman art sets. Yeah, so in the description you'll find a link to an Instagram account, and also an Etsy page. So if you go on there, you can see that the Lego underscore... Oh, what was that name? I forgot the name. It's not easy. It's not something you can actually pronounce, really. Lego underscore KCZD or ZD. She's done so many different Lego Mosaic mock builds. Really, really talented. You can buy the instructions for them. Digital instructions, obviously. Digital. No. You, like your father, are now mine. So yeah, please do check this stuff out. It's got tons of stuff on there. Not just Star Wars stuff as well, although I will say there is some cracking Star Wars art mosaics on there. Yeah, Mrs. Crackle has put the name in there. Oh, she wants to make the Grogu one. Yeah. So I've just done that bit. Oh, okay. You're killing Batman to make Bo-Katan. Is this only? Have you only just realised this, Jacob? That's why I said I thought I was going to get loads of abuse off you. I've still got the instructions, so if I ever decide that I want to take this apart and build the Batman one, I can. At first, I'm opening it. They've been sat sealed. So I opened this thing. I was like, oh, this is quite a nice presentation. Yeah, with the instructions and stuff on there. So yeah, these haven't been built, so it's not like I've taken apart the set. I just haven't. That's it. Am I still playing the Darksaber game? Oh yeah. Okay. Mrs. Crackle's got that covered. And also, shouts out to Mrs. Crackle on International Women's Day, because honestly, where would I be without her? She's not just my wife, my best friend. Sorry, Sam Jones, but she is. She's my confidant, my support, my partner in crime. It's almost my partner in crime with all things brick related, but Mrs. Craggle's my partner in crime in life. And I do not deserve her. I often wonder, what the hell is she doing with me? Like, you know, what are you getting out of this deal? How are you profiting from this arrangement? I know what I'm getting out of it. Like, when am I getting the Darksaber? It's not an actual physical Darksaber. It's just an online game. I thought Jacob would say that right at the start of the stream. Yeah, me too. Jacob says, no, I'm saving my abuse for the DMs. People don't need to hear what I have to say. Wow. And Andy Hughes wish Mrs. Crackle happy International Women's Day. I should point out, we've seen the videos, by the way, for trial members and for Super Chats. We haven't seen the video for subscribers, and I realised why quite often we don't. The reason being is you have to have your subscriptions as public for the chat for the Streamlabs bot to pick it up that you subscribed. But if anyone does subscribe whilst watching the stream, there is a thingy notification. Minifiku, welcome, welcome. What's this? A Cut the Crackle live stream? Yeah, it is. I know. I know they're rare now. Hopefully, I'll try and get back. I said this at the start of the year. I was going to get back into making regular content, and I honestly, I can say hand on heart, I did say that, meaning it. It's just things have got in the way. But I'm still endeavouring to be better with regular content. Right, okay, I got to open one of these other bags now. This one. Look at this, Mrs. Crackle even wrote the numbers on these ones for me in Sharpie. And she goes, bye, I am going with my Darksaber. Okay. And Jacob Neely said it did say this was sacrilege at the start. Did you? I missed that. Oh well. Oh well. It happens. Well. Perfect bill for today's episode. I know, right? Yeah, I was saying that, like... I couldn't have... I had no way of knowing, but yeah, definitely. Today's episode was definitely very Bo-Katan centric, and I loved it. I met Katee Sackhoff last year, I want to say, at Comic-Con, and she was lovely. And we actually, as well, I thought, because often with the bigger guests, you have to pay for their talks or get a diamond pass, but we were looking for someone to sit down when we were quite tired. It was a Long Oak Comic Con, and we sat down. Well, we went basically found these chairs. Like there was some empty seats at a free talk, and it was Chris Barry from Red Dwarf, and I was like, oh great, I get to rest my feet, and also listen to Chris Barry talk about stuff, and he was awesome. And then they said like, oh, coming up next is going to be Katee Sackhoff. I always forget his name, but the actor who played the male Nite Owl Mandalorian in season 2, which was conspicuously missing from the final episode. But yeah, and it was a great talk as well. It was really cool. So great success. But yeah, she was lovely. She's fantastic as Bo-Katan. I mean, they've kind of, I don't think they've actually established it exactly, but I do believe they've retroactively changed how old she was during the Clone Wars. Like, I think originally she was meant to have been in her 20s, you know, mid to late 20s maybe. I think now they've kind of de-aged her to be more along the same age as like Ahsoka, where she's kind of like 17, 18. Because otherwise, you know, she should be looking for a lot older 5 years after Return of the Jedi, but I still think she's meant to be looking good for her age, but you know, she's not as old as what we probably originally thought. Which makes sense, you know. I'm happy with them sort of saying that she was younger during the Clone Wars with the cartoon. You can be a bit flexible with that, really. And it means that, you know, Katee Sackhoff gets to reprise the role in live action, which is awesome, so. Chatbot went a little bit crazy then, so the message twice. I'm not sure why that was. So I'm still kind of erring a little bit on the side of caution with talking about today's episode, because I noticed people said it was okay to talk about, but no one's no one's really said too much. So if you have seen it, let's get a discussion going. What did you think of today's episode? Oh dear, Jacob. Oh dear, oh dear. Just trying to have a little more colour in this now. Ice35 says, I loved it. And Mayfiku says, I enjoyed it. Geez, they packed a lot in. They did, yeah. I was kind of worried that it was going to end with Grogu heading off in the N1 Starfighter at one point. I was like, come on, don't end it there. So I was glad that we had a bit more, because the episode lengths can be all over the place. Like I think episode 1 was like the shortest episode. Definitely felt short anyway. But yeah, it was great, and great to see some stuff that we've only previously seen in animation and live action. And of course, that reveal at the end as well. I kind of knew that was going to happen. Well, I didn't know, but I kind of suspected. You know, when you have an inkling of, right, this is going to happen. I was surprised that I must bathe in the living waters. Like, just takes his jetpack and his weapons off, still in full armor. Because I was like, wait, so is he going to get naked in front of Bo-Katan? Like, you know, I'm going to atone for taking my helmet off in front of people by getting naked in front of people and then going for a bath. But then, you know, just taking off, like, the stuff that could save your life seemed a bit weird. I do wonder just how much of it is still, it's not Pedro Pascal in the armor. If they, you know, they said they would still keep on using the guys that were playing Mando before, physically, and I'm fine with that. I don't want him to take his helmet off. It's like Boba Fett took his helmet off too much in the Book of Boba Fett. Mandalorian is not taking his helmet off enough now. It's kind of like somewhere in the middle, guys. You know, we'll get there. Who knew that Mandalorian jetpacks worked underwater? That was really cool. Have we seen that before? I don't know. I'm trying to think if we saw that in the Clone Wars. I don't think so. It was a pretty badass moment though. Ice35 accidentally slapped himself with a big wet fish. Oh dear. Oh no. Oh, Butterfingers. That was a fail. That was a colossal fail. But hey, could be worse. Could need your need your ass saving twice in one episode. I thought Water Beastie had grabbed him, but no, he just fell into the deep bit. Is that how you interpreted it? I interpreted it as that the Mythosaur had grabbed him. I mean, I guess you wonder then why didn't it grab Bo-Katan, but I guess the other thing is, like, is Bo-Katan now the rightful owner of the Darksaber because she saved Din's life after, like, you know, And technically, did the creature who captured Din, did he become the rightful owner of the Darksaber very briefly when he had Din captive, and then because Bo-Katan defeated him, you know, this whole cybernetic thing, does that mean, yeah, basically, Bo-Katan is now the rightful owner of the Darksaber, I'm pretty sure. It's interesting that she's a lot more competent with it. You know, when Din Djarin got it, I was like, come on, dude, last time you used this, you sliced your own leg in half, you know? So, like, he's still struggling with the weight of it. Which is something I remember Sabine had in Rebels. So we haven't even found out really how Bo-Katan lost it to Moff Gideon. I mean, the armor I think said like that the first time round Bo-Katan hadn't earned it, so it kind of rejected her. We don't know exactly what happened now. Do we think Moff Gideon's coming back? Like, they give an offhand comment about him being put in prison by the New Republic, which I still hesitate to use that term because I think of New Republic as being how they were in the EU books and stuff, as opposed to what we saw in the sequel trilogy ever so briefly. But I kind of feel like he should come back. Even if it's just in flashbacks to show how the conflict between him and Bo-Katan started. I feel like there's more to it, and the whole thing about him wanting Grogu's blood and stuff like that, I don't think they can just drop that storyline. Like, even though I kind of thought that Grogu was originally meant to have left and gone with Luke, I feel like the storyline would have continued in some way about why the Empire wanted him. And, you know, he might come back eventually. Mr. Crabber says it would be cool to see some flashbacks to the fight between Gideon and Bo. Yeah. I mean, even if there was a fight, we don't know. Was it like, you know, did he just steal it? Or... Because again, he seemed to be pretty decent fighting with it. Whereas Din Djarin, who is at the time was arguably the rightful owner, really struggled with the weight of it. So, I guess we shall see. So a lot of people think that Din Djarin's going to become the new Mandalore, which I can see, you know, that happening. I kind of prefer him not to be. You know, well, I'm in two minds of it. I kind of want to see Bo-Katan become the new Mandalore, but she's not the main character. It's not. Mandalorian really refers to Din Djarin, doesn't it? Hey Gong Bricks, how you doing? What is up, gents? Hey, it's not just gents here. It's International Women's Day. Do I think that Grogu seems to be getting closer to actually speaking? Yeah, they referenced that in this episode, didn't they? Ellie thought that he was trying to speak. That's one thing I have heard a complaint, and I kind of agree a little bit. Like, how do that species actually grow? Because there's a whole thing of, yeah, some species will age slower. That's why he was like 50 in Series 1. But it's still a baby. But at the same time, it's like, well, Yoda was 900 years old in Return of the Jedi, 800 something out in the prequels, and he was an old person. So, if you can't go off that, like say like, you know, a human equivalent to being in his 90s and 900s, then really, if Grogu's 50, he should be about 5 years old, but he kind of acts more like a toddler, you know, like around, like, I don't know, 18 months to 2 years old. They still refer to him as a baby as well. Although, in all fairness, they haven't. In this series, I think they've noticed they refer to him more as a kid, haven't they? They've said, oh... Hey, by the way, we got our first part. I just realised how dark it is down there. I don't know why that is. I'm sorry about that. But yeah. Can you tell what it is yet? I'll leave that by there. You can see which one I've done. How long have I been streaming for? That took way longer. But everything takes longer when you're trying to multitask. How long have we gone for? I don't know. So you're going for an hour. Okay. That's worrying considering how many of these there are. Trying to speed up things. Mandalore reminded you a lot of the Mines of Moria. Yes, yeah. Yeah, I got that as well. In a good way. Like, you know. And I did as well, like, I felt like if you've seen Clone Wars, you could kind of make out, I don't know if it's the exact areas, but you can make out some of like the architectural, that, you know, I think the Civic Center, I swear, is a place that was in Clone Wars when one of the assassination attempts happened. So I think the reason Mando isn't able to fully wield the Darksaber is because it still belongs to Gideon, because he let Mando win, and once Mando bathes in the water of Mandalore, he still won't be able to wield the Darksaber, and so he'll visit Moff Gideon, where he will then find out he escaped. I don't know. No, I don't think Moff Gideon let Mando win. I think Mando defeated Moff Gideon. He probably went at him. No, I don't agree with that. I wouldn't be surprised if Moff Gideon has escaped, or is, you know, is being broken out. But yeah, I don't think that Moff intentionally let Mando win. Just trying to sort out the never-ending stock of loose pieces. Oh, blimey. Grogu's going to say, "Speak I can, finally. Thanks, George Lucas." Yeah, I was talking about this with my buddies before, and I was saying, like, how far away from what George Lucas originally intended do we think that Star Wars has gone or will continue to go? I mean, I've heard the camps that he is quite pleased with, like, The Mandalorian. He's been on set, he likes Grogu and stuff. But I have also seen interviews where, like, Jon Favreau, I don't know how he got this wrong, but Jon Favreau said, like, oh yeah, the blaster rifle that Din Djarin has. Wow, I just knocked that flying. I've just dropped pieces on the floor. What a calamity. Yeah, they would say the blaster rifle that Din Djarin has in season 1 is meant to be like the same model blaster that Boba Fett has in the Star Wars Holiday Special, and he says to George Lucas, who sat next to him, like, you had a part in that, right? And George Lucas is like, no, not really. Which I think most fans know that George Lucas didn't want the Holiday Special to happen. He, like, it was done against, like, his wishes. I forget exactly how they did it, but yeah. I mean, I have heard that the Holiday Special was the one thing that he might have had some impact on. Oh my god, I'm knocking this again. The camera's gone all over the place. What's happened here? Why are you messing up now? But yeah, it was a bit weird that Jon Favreau decided to bring up the Holiday Special to George Lucas in person, considering George Lucas's feelings about that have been more than clear over the years. Alright, Jacob Neely, thanks for joining us. Thank you for all the super chats. And next time, charge your phone. Every stream I do, Jacob's always like, my phone battery's on like 4%. It's like, charge your phone. I know modern phones aren't good at holding battery life, but dude. Bear with me just 2 seconds, I'll be right back. So we are back. Welcome, welcome. Where was I? Okay, I need one of those. I was trying to do this in a way that I thought would save time and help me speed up. And disaster. Absolute disaster. I feel like this is the kind of thing that you need to do, like, and justice, you know. Don't live stream it, but hey, I'm still gonna. I don't know what that noise was. I think it's the start pouring down with rain outside. We've had like loads upon loads of snow, but in between that, it did rain a bit, so like the snow hasn't really settled. I think we're gonna have lots of ice tomorrow because in some places where the snow was heaviest, there was still snow there that would turn into that horrible icy snow, but other parts it just completely melted. So when the snow landed on that, it just turned straight into water. So yeah. I don't know. A little bit concerning, but we'll see. You're on high snow. Oh wow, okay. Yeah, we've had quite a bit of snow. Not look, I say quite a bit. Not as much as they were making out we were gonna have. Okay, is that all number twos? All number twos. True joke. They're making out we're going to have like 1.5 feet of snow or something, but no. Well, maybe if it's all settled, but like I said, we had some rain in between, so it didn't. Has everyone left? Did everyone leave me whilst I was away? I can imagine this being quite therapeutic. I mean, I find building Lego quite therapeutic anyway, generally. But, like, you know, the whole art thing, I think, isn't it like every set comes with something to listen to? So I can imagine this being quite therapeutic, listening to something. Obviously, it wouldn't make sense to listen to the Batman stuff when I'm building Bo-Katan. Yeah. I'm just really rubbish at like building and live streaming, and yet we still do it. I don't know why. Okay. I do like live streaming though. I like talking to you. I like sharing the build. Just get a bit confused sometimes. And there's always technical difficulties, but that's okay. That's part of the experience. Just wish I was a bit faster at building. I mean, I generally am faster at building. You won't believe this. You're like, oh yeah, you will say that. But I am faster at building when I'm not live streaming. But fingers. But I'm not good at multitasking. That's my problem. I think before we were talking about today's episode, I think Minifig Who, I don't know if you're still there, but you said that you interpreted it as he just fell down the big pit, which kind of makes sense. It seemed like it was a drop off, and he had all that armor on, so maybe that was it. Well, I thought originally the Mythosaur got him, but do you know what? The more I think about it now, I'm starting to think you might be right, that with, like, you know, the weight of the armor, he just fell down the drop off, and while she was down there, she disturbed the Mythosaur, who just kind of looked at her, you know. He didn't seem very aggressive, did he? Or it, I don't know. Yeah, interesting. I remember when I went on holiday to Greece years ago, and I had a beautiful beachlet resort, but they said, don't go, like, more than 3 meters out, because it just suddenly just drops off. And people did, and they got into trouble. People that go out there and try and help them. Underwater cliffs. Spaceman says, I'm good on building mosaics for now. My luck just finished one 4 meters by 2 meters. Yikes. That is a big Lego mosaic. I bet that wasn't therapeutic at all. So I think we're gonna go for another 10 to 12 minutes. So if anyone does have any burning questions, any topics they want to talk about, now is the time. Speak now or forever hold your peace. I'm throwing pieces on the floor again. That's not the camera again. I bet it did. Yep. Oh dear. Yeah. This system of speeding up has not worked out at all. I think others had fun designing and making instructions for it. Was the hard part. Okay. So what? I'm also getting very hungry now. That's probably not helping. Building Lego on an empty stomach is never good. But Mrs. Krakow, I believe, is going to cook us a nice cooked dinner. Spaceman says, I'll have to watch Mando when I get Disney Plus again. I currently have Paramount Plus for Star Trek's Picard final season, which is actually good, by the way. Oh, really? Yeah, you weren't a fan of Picard originally, were you? Or one of them you weren't a fan of, I don't know. There's been a couple of recent Star Trek programs. Yeah, my Star Trek knowledge literally is like... Nah. I mean, I like the movies, some of them. I remember watching the reruns of the original series in the 90s when they were on telly. Odd Next Generation episode. Oh, so I remember watching a bit of Enterprise because that was on like before Stargate and Smallville on Channel 4 in the noughties. But yeah, I'm definitely not a Trekkie. It's crazy just how many streaming services there are now. I mean, it kind of saw it happening, but just yeah, like it was good when streaming first started, and you had like Netflix, and that was pretty much it. Maybe a little bit of Amazon Prime, but pretty much everything was on Netflix. And then they've all started. All the studios now have started doing their own streaming services. So if you want to get everything, you have to have like a dozen different like subscriptions. It's a bit redonkulous, to be honest with you. It's just gone like cable or Sky in the UK, you know, where you can have your basic thing, but you got to pay for all these extra channels and stuff. You know, everything's an add-on. I mean, we have Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, Netflix, BritBox, and All 4. All 4's free. BritBox we got for free as part of an offer. But yeah, I don't feel like I'm getting a lot of value out of Disney Plus. But every time I mention about cancelling it to Mrs. Craggle, she's like, "Well, Mandalorian's coming out, or this is something that's on there." But even though they have got like, you know, a back catalogue of lots of Fox films on there, I just don't seem to be using Disney Plus as much as like my other streaming services. I hated the first 2 seasons. This was actually made by someone who likes Star Trek. New showrunner for the final season, that is. Okay. That's weird to change the showrunner for a final season, though, right? That's not, like, common. Fair enough. And Andrew says, I watched Star Trek when I was a kid just to see the guy from Reading Rainbow. I don't know what Reading Rainbow is. I know Rainbow, but that's a British thing. I don't think that's what you're referring to. Yeah, Mr. Crowd says we know you pay you up front. Well, yeah, you do, because you're in charge of it, but I'm always like... I don't know, I just don't feel like we're getting the value for money out of it. Although, at the moment, we're watching Mandalorian, so... We have Paramount Plus as well. Oh, that's right, you watched the Halo series on there. Yeah, I forget. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. There's Lionsgate Plus, I think I've seen advertised as well now. It's just like, come on. It's just going beyond. Okay, last 6 minutes, so... Anyone's got anything to say, now's the time to say it. I will be doing a part 2, don't worry. Probably at this rate, we'll be doing like 18 parts of this. I thought I was going to get like about a third of the way through, I don't know. I'll try and figure out how I can speed up a bit. LeVar Burton was the host on Real Rainbow on public television and played Jody on Next Generation. Oh, I remember him. I remember him because in the 90s when Star Trek was on telly in the UK, people used to steal their sisters' hairbands and put them over their eyes to pretend they were Geordie. I'm like 2 away to where I should be. Oh, that's not good. That's right, I missed that one out. I was there. That's okay. Oh no, that's fine. Wasn't quite as big a mistake as I thought. It was literally just one. the wrong place throwing me. What's the point? I've only opened the bags from one of these sets, but I don't know if they're like going to be distributed half and half, like half of the build has the one set. Now I might have to end up opening the other set before I get to that point. There's quite a lot of the gunmetal grey studs. What? Have I missed it? I missed the whole freaking line out. Ah. No. How did I do that? I still made a small mistake and then make a bigger mistake. So I skipped the whole line. It's fine. It's cool, I say. It's cool. Save that for later. Okay, we're coming down to the last few minutes, so don't forget anything burning, anything on your mind. Don't ask me when the next one of these streams is, I don't know, but I'll schedule it in advance. So keep your eyes out if you haven't already. Subscribe, turn on notifications. Please give the stream a like as well if you're not already. I've already said that. I was going to say subscribe, but I think I've already said that. Half tempted to go a little bit longer just to finish this off because I'm so close to the end. Mrs. Krangle, if you want to, you can start cooking food. I know you were waiting on me. I'm just going to try and quickly finish this off. So we may go over it by a couple minutes. Andrew says, anyone liking the new Jurassic Park sets? Yeah, I really do like them a lot. It's very cool to be getting a wave of Jurassic Park sets. They've kind of like teased us over the years with the odd one here and there. They give us the Raptor one and the big Jurassic Park 8s. It's good to get an actual wave of Jurassic Park sets. And we're finally getting a Brachiosaurus as well, which I'm really hyped about. I'm not sure on the colour. I do think they've done the wrong colour for the Brachiosaurus. Like making him grey. It's been more of a brownish colour, but it's just. And I know he's not as big as the one that was in Lego Jurassic World the game, but still, I'm pretty hyped to actually get a physical Lego Brachiosaurus and not the Duplo one before anyone says that. Like, oh, there was a Duplo one. Like, I know, but an actual Lego minifig scale one. I honestly thought, given the price on there, that it would be brick built, but no, instead they've just given us a brick built tree, and the tree is horrendous looking. I don't know what they were thinking building that tree. It just looks like a mess. But we're getting the Jeep. We've got two sets for the Jeeps. You got that one, and you got the Dilophosaurus one as well. Both have the Jeep, and yeah. And I think the Ford Explorer's in the Triceratops one with the big pile of poo. Poo! That's a big pile of shit. No, I'm not talking about my Lego live streams. nice tip. People says, I like them all. Definitely going to be a day one purchase for me. Yeah, I think so too. I probably shouldn't, because they do tend to go down in value. Like I bought pretty much all the last couple of Jurassic World ones on day one, and then they went down. I've still got a couple down here. I've got at least one down underneath the desk, waiting to be built. So yeah, I probably shouldn't. But I likes me to some dinosaurs. Get on the floor, everybody walk the dinosaur. You walk the dinosaur. I will stop now. I don't know what order I'm doing this in. I wasn't in a line at the time, now I'm just making it up as I go along. It's like, I see that colour, let's do that colour. I don't know. What is the best way of doing this? Is it to do a line at a time, or is it just to pick a colour and do all of that colour? Anyone figured out the best way of doing this? Answers on the back of a postcard, please. I guess you haven't said, but what do you think, Andy? Would you like them? I feel like I'm starting to get into some sort of rhythm here. Famous last words. I'm still gone over the time I said I would. Hopefully Mrs. Clapper won't shout at me. I'm sure she won't. I messed that up. I think I have. I think I've done this too low. Yeah, I've done that too low. I don't know what I've done there. I've done something bad. I said I was getting to a groove and I completely messed it up. I said it was famous last words, didn't I? I don't know what I was doing there. Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I put that one down too low. Cool. So yeah, I'm amazed by the box art. The Brachiosaurus is lit. It's lit, yeah. Yeah, I like the box art. It has a very 90s feel to it, which I think is really cool, because obviously Jurassic Park came out in the 90s, so I'm pretty happy with that. Why is that in the wrong place? No. That's not the right. I've just missed one out, have I? Oh my word, why am I making mistakes now? Because I'm trying to rush to get this done. I can do it! Positive mental attitude. Just because you want to see the GIF. It hasn't popped up, has it? I don't know why. I wonder why that is. It's just very delayed, maybe. There we go. Got there eventually. You happy now, Mrs. Craggle? You've been a member for 16 months. Yeah, now it has. Better late than never, huh? Ah. Oh, that's wrong. Ooh, wrong one. That colour. Ah, I'm your #1 fan, just less time supported via my channel. Ah. What goes there? One of these. We're almost there, people. Stay on target. Stay on target. This has not been an efficient way of doing this. Oh man. I have done this one quicker than the first one, but yeah, it has not been very efficient at all. Is it just... is it a black one here? Still not. Yeah. We've done the last two down for this plate anyway. Come on. There we go. Is it like that? Does that work? In a little over 2 hours, that's all I've done. Shameful, isn't it? But it looks cool, right? Just... what? Just... yeah. I did not think that it would take me too long. I thought I was going to get about, like, 4 or 5 of these done. Oh my word. Well, the last segment of this Mandalorian theme music is me Stargate SG-1 vibes. You know, Spacetime and Sam Jones were saying that earlier on. I feel so ashamed that that's all I've done. The glare, but... yeah, I had fun. I need to figure out a more efficient way of doing this, but I think it looks cool so far. I've enjoyed it. I got a bit stressed out. I feel like I'm just starting now to get the hang of it. Maybe that's because I've not done this kind of build before. Still making a few mistakes, but I'm starting to get into it a little bit. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. I'll try and remember everyone who was here. I'll have a quick look. It was, let's see, where's the chat gone? Oh, it's disappeared. Thank you, Andy, you, Mrs. Craggle, of course. IceDevil35 thinks that I'm oldest channel member, quite possibly. Also, Jacob Neely, Spaceland Brick Studio, Sam Jones. Who else we have? Click and Cliff, Gonk Bricks, Minifig Who, Occasion Yeti, I think, popped by as well. Black Priest, Minakawa Sam, Shingami Groot. I'm scrolling, trying to see. Oh no, we've had a few different people on here. I'm sorry if I missed your name out. Hope you enjoyed this this live stream. Hopefully the next one might be a bit more efficient at building this. I might do some of these chapters of this build as members only live streams. So if you do want to see the complete build, please do consider becoming a channel member. You can do by clicking the button below. It is only 99 pence or 99 cents US to join at the bottom tier. That gives you everything. The higher tier is just if you want to show some extra support, but you get access to everything. All my members only vlogs, members only live streams, and also members only Discord server. Get custom emojis, although we didn't see a lot of custom emojis this time, and of course the beard badge by becoming a channel member. So please do consider that and support the channel. But you can also support the channel just by hitting the like button, leaving a comment, watching a video, and if you're in the market for a custom minifigure, also consider checking out my website, cutthecraggle.com. How was that? Was that a bit better? I feel I was a bit better than my usual self-promotion, which is quite frankly horrendous. So hopefully that was a little better. But thank you all for joining. Andrew says, thanks for making my work time pass by quicker. You're very welcome. Thank you for joining us. And we will see you next time. Laters!